to shake the transmission up. We're going to have Webster Tarpley with us a half hour into the next hour. So that's an hour and 22 minutes or so. I had him coming on this week for part 2 of eugenics. He didn't even scratch the surface of his analysis of eco-science, this compendium, this Bible, this blueprint of everything we see in the United Nations Biological Diversity Treaty, the Club of Rome analysis, the Agenda 21, and the carbon tax, carbon credit treaty. We are, starting in the next hour, we're going to do 30 pure minutes on this with Webster Tarpley. So 30 minutes on eugenics part 2 today. But I must shift gears because I've read both his books on Obama. We'll put them up on screen. They're both available at Infowars.com. And I respect Tarpley, and that's who we have on here routinely, is people that have been right year after year, decade after decade, who have real foresight, over the horizon understanding. But I got to be honest, 10 months, 11 months before Obama gets elected, Tarpley puts out this book saying they're going to have thugs beating people up, and they're going to say you're a racist if you criticize any of his policies. And he's bringing eugenics, health care in the name of, because I'm not even in a socialist world, I'm against it. But if you're going to have it, really have the people get it. No, this is eugenics, and it's in there. And Tarpley said that, and just everything he said was right. And now it's coming true with Revelations level accuracy. I mean, it makes Nostradamus look ridiculous, because he studied Obama and how he works. But I want to take your calls first. We're going to do this different. We're going to take calls right now. Then at the bottom of the hour, we'll continue with calls. He's going to break down. But bottom line, Tarpley, we're going to go calls in 3 minutes. But I want to just throw this question out. The revolution is happening. The left, right, all these callers, emails, the town halls. I'm addicted to watching them online, the clips. I'm addicted to listening to C-SPAN. Every other caller says, I'm not left or right. I didn't like Bush. I thought Obama would fix it. He's a liar. This is liability protection for insurance companies and doctors to totally rip people off and carry out eugenics. Here's the subsection where CPS visits all families. Here's the subsections where they give death education to the old. You go look it up. It's there. Obama says, no, it's boogeyman. It's not there. Conyers says, how dare you read the bill? His approval ratings plunging. Like you said, it would be worse than Carter or Bush. You were right when he was this messianic leader at 84 points, now below 50. But they're going to counterstrike. And so I see it in the next week or two. I don't see them being able to stop total cratering. And I mean physical revolution, which I don't want because that's what they want. But I don't see, I see peaceful physical revolution being an inevitability. They're going to try to make it violent with provocateurs or what. Briefly, do you agree with me that we are now entering true revolution? We are now in it. This is it. This is 1776, 1775, where it really started. We are now entering it, but the redcoats are probably going to get more abusive. Just today, death threats to quadriplegics confirmed by the Michigan State Police. Old men getting up and asking a question, thugs grabbing them, black men who are against Obama being punched in the nose, the news saying Obama's for big government. Any criticism is racist. He is now like Hitler. No one can criticize him. I mean, I have never seen anything like this, Webster. I am absolutely on the edge of my seat. Do you concur that we are entering the vortex?
I would not want to be premature with that, but certainly entering it. I think what we've got is the politics of Weimar Germany. In other words, Germany between 1920 and 1930. And you can hear all the references going back to this. Each side is accusing each other of essentially being the National Socialists or the Nazis. I would call this a mass strike of the American people against genocidal Wall Street austerity. Obama is the bringer of Wall Street genocidal austerity, budget cuts, gouging of Medicare. In some ways, it's a defense of the New Deal institutions against the onslaught of Obama, because the centerpiece of what he's trying to do is to destroy Medicare, which is the great fruit of the late
And he does it, well, here's the thing, he does it with left cover, and I'm watching the town halls. That's another key. That's another key. About 40% or so get up and say, I'm a Democrat, I'm sick of your wars, and you're actually gutting health care. People are actually reading it. He really is a fascist, like you said.
I think it's the fascist corporate state. I think that's the only accurate term for this. I wouldn't want to hasten too far into Germany in the 1930s. I would stick with my Mussolini comparison, a somewhat softer version, but still fascism. The American people are rejecting this idea that they should be euthanized and indeed become the victims of genocide to save the bottom line of a private health plan or indeed of a government health plan. They're rejecting the bailouts because that is where all the money went. And they're also rejecting the spirit of oligarchy and elitism that comes out of every pore of Obama, his disdain, his hauteur, his effete snobbery that he inflicts on the people. I also expect something to happen on the left. That's what I've been working on this week. Right now you can say Obama combines the worst aspects of Carter. He's got the economics of Carter. He's got the lost war of LBJ, of Lyndon B. Johnson. That would be Vietnam, today Afghanistan, and Nixon with this stuff about indefinite detention, state secrets.
That's right. Now, exactly, Webster. You said he was going to have enemy lists. You said he was going to release tattletale squads. And I saw the preparation, but you think, this is America. You know, even Alex Jones has trouble manifesting, seeing it, manifest. It's kind of like Native Americans when they first saw sailing ships, couldn't even register them because they never had any context. The White House openly says tattle on your neighbors, report any criticism, thugs going to people's houses and death threatening them, beating people up. I mean, they really are scum.
Now, this week, I think, is going to be critical for the emergence of some kind of opposition to Obama's left, if you will. The Washington Post here of Sunday publishes an analysis from General McChrystal, the current commander in Afghanistan. This is one of the protagonists of torture. He was one of the big torturers in Iraq, and now he's been named by Obama, handpicked by Obama. And the word is that the U.S. is taking on security commitments and political commitments that will last at least a decade, 10 years, and will cost more than the Iraq War. And everybody knows that McChrystal, behind the scenes, is demanding a doubling of the current U.S. troop strength.
44,000 extra on top of the 40,000 that just got added to the 30,000.
So you'd be up to Iraqi levels. He seems to be carrying out essentially a Soviet strategy. The Soviets went for 10 years with about 120 or 130,000. I expect that the peace movement has essentially been AWOL, right? They've been, hiding because their foundation
because funders, they were bought and paid for by the Ford and Rockefeller and Annenberg, from the beginning.
So they're trying to be nice to Obama, but I think at a certain point the anti-war base is also going to come into the picture. So you'll have Obama under attack from different ideological directions. And I think probably the best we can hope for in this situation is gridlock. I think the forces arrayed in the Congress right now are so evil on both sides that the best we can hope for is absolute gridlock. They should fight each other to a standstill and give us a chance to really work out some issues, economic program, how you put an end to these imperialist wars, and also how you roll back this domestic police state, which Obama is pushing as much as Bush, or some cases more than Bush.
No, unlimited wiretapping of all internet, no free speech, tracking everyone, no fly list for people with bad credit, then you can't own a gun, secret list. I mean, Tarpley, this is off the chart.
Yes, it's a new low in American history. But again, when the pendulum swings so far, the countervailing forces come into play, and of course that's us. So we better make sure that we come into play and get out there and do something about it. I am calling on leftists in particular who have not been doing their share of the fighting. They've been lying low and being nice to Barkey. They've got to get out there and provide some leadership, and that means we need large-scale peace demonstrations in Washington, D.C. this year, in September, in October, before the weather turns bad. We're going to need challengers running as Democrats or Greens or Independents or whatever they are, challenging Obama in the 2010 elections. Those people need to declare now. And we're going to need a primary challenge to Obama, similar to what Eugene McCarthy and Robert Kennedy did to Lyndon B. Johnson back in 1968, or similar to what Teddy Kennedy did to Carter, in order to contain this presidency, which, as you say, is running amok. It's an anti-constitutional monstrosity.
We're going to go to break and come back and take calls for most of this hour, and then get into eugenics. But Webster, the issue is, what do you see them doing in the order of false flags? Or will they just engage in the false flag of playing the race card, saying all these people that oppose Obama are Klan members? They're now saying that. invoking race and really scaring a lot of kind of dumbed down liberals who now really believe that if you have any political view in America outside the dogma of Obama's handlers, you are a Klan member. I mean, this is outrageous poverty pimping, isn't it?